Growing up is awkward, to say the least. In essence, it is one of the few experiences that is universally shared among all people. Everyone, at some point or another, matures out of childhood and into adulthood, often indefinitely shaped by the people and society that they are surrounded by. Film is often the most successful forms of media to communicate these stories because it is one of the most truthful depictions of the human condition. Through the lens of film, one of the most popular and well-loved genres is coming of age, which can be defined as a story that focuses on the growth of a protagonist from youth to adulthood. Today, I will be discussing why coming of age is the most important genre of film by providing several film examples that I feel best illustrate this belief and why. Moonlight follows three distinct periods of time in the life of Chiron, a young black boy navigating the struggles of masculinity, sexuality, and family through the love and support of his community. The symbolic use of color, cinematography, and sound all make for an impressively beautiful film-going experience. I especially enjoyed the consistency in the acting choices for the protagonist and felt that all three actors did a wonderful job at painting a consistent portrait of a character. Film critic Roger Ebert once famously said that movies are the most powerful empathy machines in all the arts. I am not a black gay man. I have never grown up in an environment that exposed me to drug and drug culture at a young age. I have never had to grapple with masculinity and what it means to be a man, but this movie allowed me to gain better insight and understanding into the lives of people who do. In a culture that tends to negatively depict African American men as aggressive, this film is particularly critical, especially when we look at the state of the political climate right now. Moonlight argues that it is in every person's nature to love others and be kind, no matter how externally tough they may seem. Eighth grade explores the life of Kayla, a lonely 13-year-old girl nearing the end of her 8th grade year. She grapples with the struggles of making friends, fitting in, and growing up in the age of technology. Ooh boy, this one hit me hard, and not just because my best friend and I had a YouTube channel when we were 14. I think most people will agree that middle school is one of the hardest periods to live through because it is a period of rapid change, discovery, and insecurity. For one thing, the use of dialogue as a rhetorical strategy in this film is painfully accurate, at least in my 8th grade experience. It is unabashedly cringy, and one thing that I felt Burnham captured perfectly was trying to sound cool by saying things you wouldn't normally otherwise say. In many ways, I think anyone from any age demographic could watch this and relate to the experiences that Kayla has, which is why I think everyone should watch it. Another aspect of this film that I appreciated was how it touched on adolescence in the modern world of technology and how exposure to social media can have a negative impact on teens' mental health. This is an important conversation to have and one that, in my opinion, isn't talked about enough because I know that I saw things on the internet when I was 13 that I was definitely too young to see. Something else I just wanted to add that I felt a lot of people could relate to was a quote from Bo Burnham on 8th grade and being a shy kid. He says that a lot of people think being shy is cowering in a corner, but it's really trying to speak all the time and not being able to. 8th grade argues that adolescence is an inherently difficult period for all people because it is performative. The last film I will be talking about today is Pariah. Pariah documents the life of teenage Alike, who feels alienated by her family as she struggles to come to terms with her lesbian identity. Thematically similar to Moonlight, Pariah does a great job of captivating the feeling of insecurity as the protagonist struggles with the conflict between culture and self-expression. I particularly enjoy the use of bright colors to illustrate nightlife, as well as the intercutting of Alike's relationship with Laura, her best friend, and her relationship to her controlling mother. The story's emphasis on Alike's home life paints a poignant picture of a family's intolerance to their daughter's sexuality. Even though personally I'm not a person of color, I can understand how important this film is for many reasons, because queer people of color are objectively underrepresented in the media. I also believe that incorporating the coming-of-age genre with minority protagonists not only helps conservative individuals empathize with these communities more, but also helps communicate the idea that all people are deserving of love. It is hard to discredit adolescence because everyone knows what it's like to feel vulnerable and misunderstood at this age. Additionally, one aspect of the story I thought was both interesting and important was its ability to make Alike's struggles with her sexuality feel tangible. In my viewing experience, it became increasingly frustrating to watch as her family ignored and attempted to bury their daughter's identity out of fear of the social repercussions that may come of it. It made me empathize with and frustrated at the fact that so many people in the LGBT community must accept their family's rejection as a part of life. Pariah argues that individual freedom is more important than familial conformity. This is important because while many families choose to value their traditions and what is familiar to them over their child's divergence, love is still unconditional. A parent should love their child regardless of their identity. Coming of age is the most important genre of film because it undoubtedly provides a vulnerable depiction of a universal experience. Everyone has gone through a rapid period of change, growth, and discovery. The portrayal of the human experience is intrinsic to film, and this is important because understanding a diverse interpretation of the human experience allows for greater empathy. I encourage you all to go out and watch these movies because I think they are pretty awesome, and you probably will too.